Most people want the results of discipline without the rhythm of discipline. They want transformation to arrive quickly, on their schedule, without meeting the discomfort that forges it. But semen retention works in time, not tricks. It doesn't reward impatience. The first few days might feel electric, like something is happening, but the real shift is slower, almost invisible. And that the brain expects fireworks, but what it needs is friction. Day by day, the old habits try to return. And each time, you say no, not by force, but by clarity. Something rewires. A new current builds inside you, not to impress anyone, but to rebuild your foundation from the inside out. The longer you hold the line, the more your nervous system starts rewriting itself. This isn't about pushing harder. It's about learning to hold your energy, your focus, your intention. Over time, that holding becomes your baseline. You begin to operate from strength, not seek it. You stop chasing highs because you've trained your system to generate steadiness. That's what delayed gratification does. It sharpens the lens. You no longer act because you're chasing relief. You act because you've become someone who builds, regardless of mood. That's grit. That's retention. And that's how 400 days don't just change your biology, they reshape your identity. Section 1. Day 130. Day 1 might feel like a drop in the ocean. Nothing changes on the outside, but beneath the surface, something ancient stirs. The circuits in your brain that have been fried by years of easy pleasure begin to wake up from their numbness. Dopamine, once tossed into the system like cheap fuel, starts recalibrating. The brain no longer expects reward on demand. It starts learning patience again. You feel it in strange ways. Restlessness, cravings, irritability. But that's not weakness, that's withdrawal. The limbic system, which manages emotion and pleasure, is trying to claw back control. Every time you resist old patterns, you're rewriting what pleasure even means to your brain. By the second or third week, your emotional life begins to shift. The fog lifts in moments, brief but sharp. You start noticing the space between impulse and action. That space is everything. It's where your power lives. Prolactin levels, which linger after release and dull your ambition, begin to drop. Testosterone whispers back into the system. You start feeling more alert in the morning, more driven by dusk. Not every day is clean. There will be setbacks, urges, moments where it feels useless. But something is stabilizing beneath it all. Like your biology is pulling itself back into alignment, one layer at a time. As the month closes, your awareness sharpens. Emotional triggers that used to drag you under now flash like lights on a dashboard. You can see them, name them, pause. That's not just awareness, it's cortical restructuring. The brain's executive centers, especially in the prefrontal cortex, begin to assert dominance over the limbic hijack. You may notice your responses to stress becoming more measured, less compulsive. Sexual cues lose some of their grip. You're no longer being led by them, you're observing them. That shift isn't loud, but it's real, and it's only the beginning. The foundation is being laid for everything that comes next. Section 2, Day 31, 180. By the second month, something changes in how you think. It's not louder or more obvious. It's smoother. The brain doesn't jerk between ideas like it used to. There's rhythm now. The part of your brain that's responsible for planning and impulse control, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, begins functioning with less friction. This region has been dulled by overstimulation and scattered dopamine. But during this stretch, the noise clears. You become more capable of holding a long-term goal in your mind without dropping it, not just holding it, organizing steps around it. This isn't motivation, this is structure. You begin moving with a mind that can track what it starts. Performance sharpens in subtle but undeniable ways. Conversations feel more fluent, decisions are made without internal tug-of-war. You're not just reacting, you're coordinating. The term prefrontal flow captures this state, a neural rhythm where goals, actions, and awareness line up. It's been observed indirectly in athletes, strategists, and creators who enter peak performance states. Semen retention helps you touch this zone because it stops the neurological leakage that comes from compulsive release. The brain isn't scrambling to recover its chemistry, it's building signal clarity. And when the signal is strong, so is your will. Sleep begins to take on a new role. You don't just rest, you recalibrate. With fewer hormonal crashes and a more stable endocrine rhythm, REM sleep grows deeper. This matters because REM is when the brain stitches together emotional memories and long-term learning. The more vivid your dreams become, the more awake your waking hours feel. It's not random, it's neurological maintenance finally being done right. Hormones like melatonin and testosterone begin aligning in their natural cycles instead of being scrambled by late-night scrolling and emotional chaos. A man with aligned sleep and internal chemistry becomes hard to shake. Then there's the odd beauty of dream clarity. Dreams you once forgot now leave an imprint. And that matters more than people think. Your hippocampus, key for memory and spatial awareness, relies on dream activity to file away what matters. But more than that, it rehearses what's coming. When dream recall improves, it's not fantasy, it's a sign that the mind is getting better at building internal simulations. That means better visualization, sharper anticipation, and clearer foresight. It's like your inner strategist is finally stepping forward. And this is only the halfway mark. The system hasn't peaked. It's just woken up. Section 3, Day 181, 400. By this point, past 180 days, something irreversible takes place. You no longer view restraint as effort. It becomes instinct. There's no internal battle, no convincing yourself. What once felt like self-denial now feels like self-command. You begin to feel the subtle undercurrent of energy in conversations, crowds, and glances. Every room you enter, there's feedback, nonverbal, immediate. You're not forcing presence, you are presence. The mind no longer orbits around distraction, impulse, or approval. Your nervous system, once trained to chase short-term comfort, now holds itself in silence. That's not repression, it's containment. And from that containment, power starts to leak into everything you do. The man who reaches this phase no longer imitates confidence, he calibrates it. Emotional reactions from others don't dictate his posture. Disagreements don't shake his axis. In fact, the more chaos enters the space, the more he slows down. Why? Because masculine energy in its integrated form isn't about loudness or posture, it's about gravity. When your emotions don't scatter at the first sign of tension, people adjust to you. That's the emergence of emotional leadership. You don't control people by force. You create such clear internal boundaries that external noise naturally recedes. This isn't arrogance, it's earned calm, and calm is rare. By 400 days, identity isn't just stronger, it's redefined. This man doesn't speak in borrowed language. He doesn't posture to be taken seriously. His silence holds more weight than someone else's shout. Semen retention no longer feels like a method. It's become an extension of how he sees himself. He's tuned to energy. He feels when to speak, when to pull back, and when to move. Emotional manipulation bounces off him not because he's defensive, but because his system has no empty space to hook into. The architecture of the masculine archetype is no longer aspirational, it's internal. and nothing about it is temporary.